WDW Beyond Podcast is brought to you by our partners at Destinations to Travel. Having the right travel agent partner is essential to creating your perfect vacation. That's why we will always recommend you use an earmarked, authorized Walt Disney World travel agency when you're planning your next or your first Walt Disney World vacation. Our favorite is Destinations to Travel. Whether you're wanting to book a Disney family vacation or a romantic getaway for two, a destination wedding, or a cruise on the 7 seas, if Disney thought it, Destinations to Travel can handle it for you. They can set up your DVC stay or chart a course for you through Adventures by Disney. Let Destinations to Travel be your guide for your dream vacation and all of your travel needs. You can go to our website, www.beyond.com, to fill out a quick questionnaire, and within 15 minutes you will get a response from one of the great agents at Destinations to Travel. But wait, I almost forgot to tell you the best part. It's all free. That's right, your personal travel agent will assist you in setting up your fast passes, as well as all of your dining reservations, and help make your vacation a dream come true.
When the Disney characters you love come together, it's magic. But when they come together with classic music and movie moments you adore, it's PhilharMagic. And the best part? You'll be swept up in the middle of it all. It's a 3D symphony of fun for everyone. Mickey's PhilharMagic, new in the Magic Kingdom Park.
This is Tower. Launch sequence engaged.
You've got a friend in me.
Welcome to WDW Beyond, your podcast for Walt Disney World and beyond, including Disney Parks, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, and, well, beyond. This episode and every episode, we bring you Disney news, history, facts, and opinions while having an all-around fun and great time talking about our passion, Disney. Welcome to show number 34, Ranking the Parks. And tonight we'll be ranking each land of the Magic Kingdom. But before we get to that, let's bring in our cast of characters and see how they're doing tonight. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. For those of you that are following along, I was lip syncing pretty much Rob's entire intro, so that's why things are. I'm good. I'm ready to discuss the Magic Kingdom, and really surprised at some of my results.
Awesome, Brian, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm great. Ready to see how all of these lands stack up against each other once we use this fantastic grading tool. Hopefully you guys play along and see how you rank the lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Sounds good. And the princess, Shannon, who looks like she's worried about her selections. How you doing?
I am a little worried about my selections, to be honest. But hey, it's a show, it's fun, and let's see what we think. I'm ready.
It's another interesting way to see where things rank, and sometimes it brings out some surprises, but also sometimes I think it brings out how you can justify why you love something maybe as much as you do. So, Brian, I'm going to kick it over to you, and let's get this thing going. Let's see how we feel about the Magic Kingdom's certain lands.
Thanks, Rob. That's right. We're going to dive into, over the next 4 shows, all of the lands of every park at Walt Disney World Resort. Today, we're going to look at the lands of the Magic Kingdom. So we're going to go 1 through 6 on theming, attractions, shows, dining, and shopping, and see which one comes out on top. So the highest score you could possibly get is a 30, and the lowest is 5. So we're going to go to Shannon first and see what she has as her lowest ranked land in the Magic Kingdom, and see what her top one is under the theming category. Shannon, take it away.
Hey, Brian, I was really surprised at my answer here, but for theming, my lowest ranked is Fantasyland. I know, right?
Wow.
I know, right? I couldn't give it any love.
Let's see you back this up.
My top one is Main Street. So when I think about Walt, in that I think about Main Street, and I think about the detail in Main Street. And for me, the detail in Main Street is so enriching and just you can picture his town and that Main Street USA. It's just, to me, it's fantastic, and you get the view of the castle and all of that, and the train station. That when you get to Fantasyland, it's Fantasyland. That's where I went with it. Now all the haters are gonna be like, "What?" But I hope that explains why I went that way.
Absolutely. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 was Tomorrowland. I just, even after the overhaul of Tomorrowland, I just think that they need to show a little more love with a refurbishment. Absolutely.
What about your number 3?
Liberty Square, which I was really surprised. I like Liberty Square a lot, but apparently not that much.
So who got your silver and your bronze for theming?
Let's see. Silver is Frontierland. So I was surprised with that. Bronze is Adventureland, and I was surprised about that. It just when I really sat down to think about it, I was just blown over with the Main Street theming.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rob, what about you?
Well, I am close to what Shannon had ranked. I actually went with my worst theming as Tomorrowland. I just think it's a bunch of steel and it's discombobulated, and if I think of Tomorrowland, that's not what I would be thinking of, and that's not how I would have it looking. So I gave it my number 1. I'm right there with Shannon, though. I gave Fantasyland as my next one, and I tell you what, the reason it ranks so low is because I guess you would say quote-unquote old Fantasyland. The big tops and everything like that. I think New Fantasyland with the Seven Dwarfs, Be Our Guest, Gaston's Tavern, even the circus part back there in the back, I think that's themed pretty well. But the part there with PhilharMagic, Peter Pan, Small World, I mean the Tangled bathrooms too are awesome. So, but that little area there just needs to get a little bit of love, and they need to kind of maybe do a redo on that one, on the facades and everything, kind of like they did in Disneyland. So that was number 2. Number 3 was Frontierland. Not that it's themed bad, but I just didn't think it was themed as well as my final 3. So that's why I gave Frontierland, kind of stuck it there with the number 3. I went to number, I guess you would say my bronze was Adventureland, and I really like Adventureland. I like the way the Pirates theme is themed there with when you go into that one, Tortuga Tavern across from it, the Tiki Room and everything. So it's got some theming, but and I like the theming that it has. But my runner-up was Liberty Square, and for that one is you look at the way that they really put a lot of work into making sure that it looked pretty authentic with the shutters. Kind of cockeyed because they've got the leather strapping on them, which is what they used back then. They've got the Liberty tree there. They've got the houses and everything. They've even got the poop road going down the middle there with everything and stuff, and the stockades and stuff. So I thought that's themed pretty well. Is why I gave it the second runner-up. But the final one
Rob just said poop.
I thought he was trying to say potpourri for a second.
Nope, poop. So, but no, I think with Shannon, I had to give the number 1 thing to theming as Main Street. I mean, that's just when you walk in there from the train station all the way up to Casey's Corner and the Plaza Restaurant and everything like that. The theming for each one of those stores, the gas lights, the middle of the thing with the park benches and stuff. I mean, it's just, yeah, I think that just blows everything else away as far as theming. So, yeah, I'm right there with Shannon as Main Street USA is the top of my list for the theming part.
Nice. Mike, are you going to follow suit, or are you going to go a different route?
Well, I kind of a mix of both. My bottom of the barrel was also Fantasyland. It's a little discombobulated between old and new. It doesn't have a overall theme because every attraction's kind of themed to itself. It doesn't have something that flows all the way through. My second lowest is Frontierland. Not that it's terrible, it's just that some of the other lands are that much better. I mean, when you're back in the corner, by Splash Mountain and Thunder Mountain, it's really nice over there. Tom Sawyer Island, Pecos Bills, that whole main drag there is pretty good. Main Street USA came in at number 3 for me. That got 3 points because, it's neat, but it's a recreation of a Main Street USA town. You watch any old movie, any old TV show, you're going to see kind of the same thing. I know it's much more important than that and everything like that. But now we get in. Tomorrowland actually got my bronze. I think there's some very cool aspects of Tomorrowland over there. There's I'm always drawn to those stainless steel palm trees. I think those are pretty cool. That little fountain there is pretty cool. I love the way the people mover snakes around through the whole thing. So Tomorrowland actually got my bronze. The silver medal goes to Liberty Square. And as someone who, was born and raised in New England, I've seen all that stuff countless times. Every time you go to Boston or Plymouth Plantation or Strawberry Bank or anything like that. But they really nailed it between the colonial look, the little bit extras, even the fact that there's no bathrooms in there to make it feel like colonial times. So everyone was paying attention there. And my gold medal went to Adventureland. That just kind of has it all. Whether you're walking through the queue at Pirates of the Caribbean or you're over there by Jungle Cruise, the background loop for Adventureland is fantastic. And one thing I noticed that really got me my last trip there in February was we took a really good long look at the outside of the Enchanted Tiki Room and that whole area over there. The detail around there is amazing. The woodwork and the figures and everything in there, if you take a couple of minutes to look at it, it's just really amazing. So that's why Adventureland came in on top of my theming.
Mike, thanks, and I'm going to go completely opposite of everybody. My number 1 was Tomorrowland, and my reasoning is, while it's themed toward what the future was thought to be, it's just extremely sparse. There's not enough there. I love the elements that are there, and it works, but I think that it definitely needs an overhaul, which I think we'll be getting soon. My number 2, and I'm going to get some flack from Mike, it's actually Adventureland. And while I love Adventureland, the knock on it is the magic carpets of Aladdin. It just completely throws off the theming, at least for me anyway. Mike looks like he's got a rebuttal there.
That's an attraction, though.
But it's right in the middle of the land, and it just.
I'm not saying I like it. I think it's.
Oh, I know.
Out of place too, but.
For me, it just kills it. Like you're walking down and you see the jungle, and then all of a sudden you see this gaudy attraction that has no business being there. My number 3 is Main Street USA, and while I love it, I absolutely love Main Street USA. This is actually probably the hardest category to rank because everything's fantastic. But yeah, it's my number 3. My number 4 is Liberty Square, and my reasoning is you can feel completely immersed in colonial America, and it's an accurate portrayal of some of the country's most iconic locations of the original 13 colonies. Outside of going to Boston or going to Philadelphia or going to Colonial Williamsburg and Jamestown, where else are you going to see these places to this level of authenticity? I just don't think you're going to find it anywhere else outside of the real places. My number 5 is Frontierland. And the reason it's my number 5 is I just love how the theming of Frontierland flows into Adventureland and Liberty Square, and it just all fits together side by side. I don't think any other land does that as well as those 3 become kind of a cohesive unit. And my number 1 is Fantasyland. And with new Fantasyland opening a few years ago, let me finish.
Oh, this better be good.
It went from what was possibly the worst themed land in all of Walt Disney World to, I think, the most immersive land, where you're transported into the Enchanted Forest and you can leave the rest of the world behind as you explore the worlds of fairy tales that you grew up watching as a kid. Where else can you go under the sea with Belle, or go into Beast Castle, or go into the diamond mines with the dwarves, and then you can also go to the circus, and actually Dumbo is now a relevant part of that land. I mean, it was just an attraction, but now it's a relevant part